Police in the Central Region are said to have arrested the fetish priest said to have instigated the death of the 10-year-old boy at Kasoa. The teenage suspects arrested for the crime are said to have clubbed the boy to death for money rituals. Central Region correspondent Richard Kojo has that angle of the story and joins us with more. Richard, what more can you report?
Well, so the police are reporting that they went upon further investigation. So they went to Suhum in the eastern region and effected the arrest of this fetish priestesses. They believe, played a pivotal role in all of these that have caused the death of the 10-year-old. And so they have effected her arrest, and she is assisting the police with their investigations. Meanwhile, the police tell us that they have transferred the case to the CID headquarters in Accra. So they will be handling the case from now because that jurisdiction is very close to Accra. But because the distress call came from to Kasoa, that Kasoa Divisional Police Command, that is why the Kasoa division started investigation. So now what they tell us is that the case has been transferred to the national headquarters.
All right, thank you very much, Richard Kojo, bringing us that update about a fetish priestess being arrested in connection with the murder of the 10-year-old boy at Kasoa. Now, let's go over to Maxwell Agbagba, who has just returned from the community where the whole incident happened, or the tragedy happened, and he's picked up some information about the boys involved, the suspects involved. Now, Maxwell, what can you tell us about the suspects involved in this case?
Well, Israel, the charge sheet actually revealed that the two suspects, the two accused persons, one is 16, the other is actually 18 years. The information we're picking up is in relation to the 18-year-old suspect. For him, we have much information about him. In fact, we are told that he actually enrolled in senior high school just some weeks ago, and that is the Great Lambton Mills Senior High School in Kasoa. I had interactions with the father of the suspect, who tells me that his son actually got admission to a school in the Volta region, but because he could not afford the cost of boarding fees for his son, so he had to go to the Great Lambton Mills School, which is just some minutes drive from their residence, to plead with the headmaster, and the headmaster actually agreed that he could pay his fees in installments. So just some days to vacation, we are told that the 18-year-old suspect enrolled in that school and was in school for about a week before school went on vacation. Now, another thing we are learning about the 18-year-old suspect is that, if you ask residents, they tell you that he was once arrested, he was once involved in the case of defilement, and that particular allegation was confirmed to us by a source at the Kasoa police station. Now, when I had interactions with the father of the suspect, he actually told me that allegation is untrue. He says the only time that his son actually had a case involving the police was about 4 months ago, when a man he used to work for actually accused him of stealing $10,000, an allegation the father actually denied. In fact, he says that his son used to be a staunch Christian and a staunch member of the Hope Generation Church, but he only slipped into peer pressure to the extent that he advised him to stay away from bad company. But he says that anytime he says that, the son wouldn't listen. In fact, he says on the day that the incident actually happened, right, at 10:30, he saw his son in his room relaxing. 1 hour later, information came through that his son had been arrested by the police for killing someone. So
in effect, Maxwell, at the time the father saw him relaxing in his room, he had supposedly committed the crime already.
No, he had not committed the crime. So 1 hour later, that was when information started filtering through that he had actually committed the crime. So the father actually said it came to him as a surprise, because he really did not expect that to happen, because he saw him just an hour ago. The father has also, Noah Kinney, has also been telling me that after the incident happened, some people who live in the community have been coming to his home to threaten him. They say that he's an accomplice, but he is saying that he believes that there could be some other persons behind the act. He says that he's not an accomplice. This is not something that he'll countenance. We asked him whether he thinks that his son could commit such an act. He says that he cannot confirm or deny that his son actually did it, but he will leave it to the police to investigate. Now, the 16-year-old suspect also, we learned today, was actually in class 6.
All right.
And I mean, some of the community folks had quite some pleasant things to say about him, contrary to what they had to say about the 18-year-old suspect, Israel.
All right. Thank you very much, Maxwell Agbogba, with that update. And we'll be bringing you that interview with the father of the 18-year-old. Meanwhile, Central Regional Minister Justina Marigold Assan is assuring family members of the 10-year-old boy who was allegedly killed by 2 teenagers that the culprit will be punished. The assurance follows threats by relatives and friends of the deceased that they will exact vengeance on the suspect and their families should they escape justice. During a visit to commiserate with the grieving family, she also urged parents to prioritize the welfare of their children and ensure they are living morally upright lives.
Quite unfortunate to have a situation like this where our own young children, 16, 17, can take somebody's life. In fact, it's so mind-boggling. Can't just understand the motive behind what they did, even the courage they got to do what they did. Very unfortunate, and we pray that we will not experience this again in the land of this country. We are praying that this one will go very far from us. On behalf of the president, we came this afternoon to see the family, to wish them well, to send the president condolences messages to them, and to also assure them that they are going to get justice for what has happened. We cannot sit aloof for people to continue taking lives like that. And we know if you're able to give them justice, then it's going to deter others from doing same. We have also assured them of government commitment to support them in any way that is possible. For Kasoa, we all know there are so many things happening, but we are also appealing to the general public to be security conscious. Should know that we are in trying times and we need to be careful. We need to be careful of what we are doing and then stay alert, especially mothers taking good care of their younger ones. We need to know where our children are going, where they are playing, and when we even send them, we need to follow suit to know that our children are safe.
Family members of the deceased have been appealing to police to release the body for burial. Spokesperson for the family, Samed Akalilu, says that's the only way they can get some closure in the short term. A planned burial on Tuesday could not happen, as police say they are yet to conclude investigations.
This is uncharacteristic of a Muslim dead body. I mean, we all know that for us as Muslims, the moment you are dead, the next available opportunity, you are buried. And so for what has happened, that is the greater part of our trauma so far. Yes, we've lost Ishmael. We are not going to get Ishmael again forever. But our major worry now is that we are not getting the body as early as we want. In fact, we went to the court yesterday. Our expectation was that we'll get Ishmael and bury him so that we can put a closure to that aspect of the issue and focus on the legal aspect and issues of justice and all of that. Lo and behold, that never happened. So we are appealing to the Ghana Police Service, from the president, who is the commander-in-chief, to the lowest person, to come to our aid. The police must expedite action and ensure that tomorrow that we are promised, we'll get our body and bury Ishmael so that the rest can be continued. That is our major cry now.
Okay. And what reason were you given yesterday? Because yesterday I know family members had gathered here in anticipation of the arrival of the body for
Absolutely.
Burial.
Well, we're giving reasons that the autopsy and investigative processes had not been completed as of the time we were in court to get the body, and that we were very shocked anyway, without prejudice to how the case will go. This is a case where at least 2 parents of the young people who did the killing have attested that they are on record, public record. In fact, a while ago, one of the parents even called my sister, and of course my sister handed over the phone to me. He is grieving and says that he's more than willing to cooperate to ensure that justice is done So for us, we are shocked that with the litany and a plethora of evidence, of course, without prejudice, they are doing their professionals, we know that, but we just feel that there is enough prima facie case that Ishmael's body shouldn't still be kept as of now. It should be released to us. So they said they haven't concluded, and we are hoping that on the basis of things happening from yesterday and today, we should have our body tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, the regional minister assured the family the body will be released for burial Thursday.
The family want the body released to them. How soon can they have that?
I promised them that they're going to have it tomorrow so that they can have a befitting burial for him on Friday. Thank you very much.
All right, now it's been a statement from the Ministry of Gender and Children Affairs, and I'll share that with you presently. So it is with deep sadness that I learned of the death of a 10-year-old boy at Kasoa who was allegedly brutally murdered for ritual purposes. My heartfelt condolences go to the family, especially the mother of the young boy whose life has been cut short in such a gruesome manner. As a mother myself, with a son just around that age, I can imagine her pain and the anguish she is experiencing. The thought of any parent losing a child is unbearable, especially under such dastardly circumstances. My heart really goes out to her. It is disturbing that this grotesque act was committed by a teenagers who are barely 16 and 17 years respectively, who ideally should have exemplified honorable aspirations for their lives instead of this undignified way to enrich themselves. I plead with the media to take a tough stance against spiritualists and occultists who openly advertise on their platforms and entice these young ones to engage in these acts. It is time to take the moral right and uphold the values of our nation and safeguard the future of our kids and our dear nation in that regard. The culprits, who unfortunately happen to be teenagers, are tried and convicted. We'll be willing and ready to absorb them into our juvenile correctional centers under the Department of Social Welfare. Once again, my sincerest condolences to the family. We will be with you every step of the way. And so that's a statement from the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection.